Welcome back to District 32 podcast with Dean, one of the founders, District 32 or D32.
D32 after the rebrand.
Yeah, we are now. So did you have trouble saying district? Was it too long or you run out of breath? Or what happened there?
You know I have problems speaking English, so
Yeah,
they made it shorter just for me.
Yeah, fair enough, I'm glad. Yeah. So District 32 or D32 podcast. I probably should actually say it properly, shouldn't I?
Yeah, just for my sake.
I'm going to host your show, yeah. Now, we've done a couple of sessions, the last couple, which are brilliant. One on closing, which everybody needs to know a bit more about closing. And I love the way you just simplified that. Building rapport, which actually isn't hard.
Yep.
Have a listen to that if you haven't listened to that one or watched that one as yet. And this one today, work or networking successfully.
Yeah.
And it is an art. It is a skill.
Yeah.
To be able to do that. I think we've all been to networking events where you've got that one guy who's got his pile of cards and he's just got to shove down as many cards as he can, as many people as he can, thinking they're going to buy from him.
Well, if I'm being honest, like that was my initial foray into. I was with a big brand at the time. My first earlier kind of, I suppose, organised networking events. So I just thought, I'm a big brand, big name. Walk in, open the doors of your vaults, folks, I'm here. But obviously I learned fairly quickly it's not the way it works. It's like any kind of sales strategy. The connection, the trust, relationship has to be there, no matter how good your product serves or how big your brand is. And it is a medium-term strategy because it is all about relationships. So it takes time. So I suppose things I've learned and observed with networking and people who are good at it and people maybe not so good at it over the years, I think the first thing is show up. Like that just sounds like an obvious one, but I mean, if you're part of an organization that does networking, you're there for a number of reasons. It's not just what we're focusing on today. I suppose is the business development side of it. There's other aspects, education, motivation, inspiration, but just purely we're focused on the business development side of things. So, and that might sound like an obvious thing. Maybe just to give an example, there was a bookkeeper who joined D32 a number of years ago, and she joined it for one reason. She wasn't looking for lead generation. She said, I need people to refer to, particularly an accountant and a financial planner. And they were in the group that she was in. So that was job done for her. But after about 3 months, she said, listen, I'd like to move location. And the reason she wants to move location is I don't trust the accountant and financial planner. Now, I knew they were really good. I said, Jesus, how did you come to that conclusion after 12 weeks? And she said, they're not always there. I don't know if they're coming, so if they're not turning up, I don't know whether I trust them with my clients. And I said, fair enough. And so she moved. So people do know. You're sending out a message about how reliable you are if you're not turning up or are turning up. So showing up sounds like an obvious one, but show up and so that you're committed to this team that you've become aligned with. Yeah. And I think the other thing as well is like ask yourself the question: how am I going to get introductions, lead generation, referral partners through the group that I'm in? So it's not a case of showing up and you're the best thing since sliced bread. People are going to jump at me. I need your product or service. Now and again, you do get lucky because people need that product or service. But as you know, Kingsley, it does take time to build that connection. So the question is, how are you building trust? How are you building that connection? And for me, like the quickest way is obviously one-to-ones outside the event, where I'm meeting the other members of the group, learning about their product, their service, who they work with, have they a niche, really kind of learn about their business. And my goal is I want to give first. And I kind of learned this early on in sales. By giving first, you do receive back, and usually with interest. So I'm focused on how can I make introductions to Kingsley? Who does he need to meet? And that just really just fast tracks trust. Going, Jesus, that was really, because we all appreciate a leg up in business, because business can be tough. So if someone gives you a leg up, you do remember it. So I'm looking to make introductions, and there's so many opportunities at a networking event. I mean, say taking the style of a D32 event, you've open networking, so you'll make 2 or 3 connections there. You've got an opportunity for 60 seconds to say, hey, give a case study and kind of say, well, listen, I'm looking to work with more health professionals or construction, whatever the case may be. And then we do a facility one-to-one. So you've got that opportunity throughout a 2-hour event to kind of give and receive those introductions. But it's important that you're not treating it as a social event. as I said, now I do appreciate there's a lot more to networking than just lead generation. It's the camaraderie you build, the education, the inspiration, and all that stuff. And we all definitely need it. But again, we're just focusing here on business development. So if you go a month with your networking and you're kind of look, I haven't added that into the pipeline, there's a problem. And the problem is not normally the platform or the organization you're with or the people in the group. The problem is you got to look at yourself and go, okay, am I asking for the business? Am I positioning myself? Do people understand the value of what I'm doing? And you've come across really good operators who are outstanding at what they do, and their business is gone. And I'm not saying it's because of networking, but they've been involved in networking and haven't taken that and through. They haven't built relationships for referral partners. Yeah. People maybe don't really understand what they do. They haven't kind of got involved. They haven't turned up, whatever the case may be. So you got to look at yourself first with any sales strategy, not just networking. But I mean, if you look at, one guy said last week, he said, you look around that networking, whatever group, there's some people doing really well from a sales point of view out of it, and there's other people not doing so well. So what is the difference? What is the guy who's doing really well? What is he actually doing that the other person isn't? And usually it's activity, and everything in sales happens from activity. So what activity are you doing within your group to warrant that they go, I need to have a chat with Kingsley around this. I need help from Kingsley. Actually, I've got a business that needs Kingsley's help. Actually, I've got someone who'd be a really great referral partner for Kingsley. But coming back to the actual basics of it, I find you got to, if you take control, think of the word control. Otherwise, you're living in hope in a networking environment. So taking control is you taking action and looking to facilitate introductions, looking to help someone. It's not always lead generation that someone has a challenge with. It could be, geez, my marketing is really poor, and you can make that introduction for them. I need help with my financial strategy. You know the person to get them in front of. So it's kind of really looking, what are you doing yourself around? But it's for me, and I've done a fair bit of research over the last 6 months. I suppose I was lucky. I learned early, particularly with the networking. You keep giving, and you get it back. 100% you'll get it back. Yeah. But over the last 6 months, I've spent a good bit of time researching I can't pronounce this word. You'll help me. Law of reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
That's the word. Yeah.
That's close enough.
Yeah. But I mean, there's so much evidence there. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Even if you think of it socially, Kingsley, if my car broke down tomorrow on the way from Gold Coast to Brisbane, I ran out of petrol, and I rang you. I said, Kingsley, I've broken down. Any chance you can bring me out some petrol? I know, knowing you as a person, you'll get there. You'll bring the petrol. But internally, like I feel morally obliged to return that favour at my earliest convenience. And socially is no difference professionally. If someone does you a turn professionally in business, we all really appreciate it, and we want to kind of return that favour as quickly as we can, or we get the opportunity, we will. So, yeah.
Can I give a bit of an example on that?
Yeah.
Because I like to analyse, okay, what's coming from the different things that I do. And I was thinking, someone asked me, are you getting anything out of District 32?
Yeah.
And I started thinking about it. Oh, my God, I'm not sure, really. And then I started to think about it a bit more. And I'm like, actually, yeah, because of this connection that got that, and this connection that led to that, leads to this. One example is, and there's a bunch of different things, but Sarah Cordner.
Oh, yes, Sarah,
runs Techmatics. Phenomenal company. I first met her when she was doing a
presentation, was it? The Maxi?
Yeah, one of the round table type things that they do where they present and help people learn. And I'm like, whoa, this chick's awesome. She knows her stuff. Yeah. So we had a bit of a chat and did stuff. And then I think we talked later on. She said, she's doing a conference. And they just moved to the Gold Coast. Yeah. Don't know where to go. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, here's something you might want to check this out because she had some place. They wanted like 16 grand for a couple of days or something. It's like, holy cow. Yeah. But I said, look, check these guys out. She checked it out. She said, that's perfect. It's great. Yeah. She ended up doing her event there.
Brilliant.
And then we were just talking about what I do and all that sort of stuff. And one of the PT masterminds I was going to be running, and she actually come along. She's like, this is exactly what I'm needing at the moment for me. So she come along to that. Yeah. And then I've got someone just the other day is like, I've seen Sarah's thing. I'm not sure if I want to go. And I've actually done one of her trainings, and it's like the value that she gives is way over the top.
Yeah.
And I said, if you can go, get there, whatever it takes, just go be part of it. They're like, oh, okay, I will then. Yeah. And that's sort of what you're talking about. It's just, and that's just one example. There's a bunch of them of just, you support each other around the tracks. And now that other lady that's just talking to me, she's going to get an enormous amount out of this. That's going to help her business and go on further as well.
And she'll appreciate that you've kind of opened that door to her. Yeah. But, and again, like Sarah will be conscious this lady came through Kingsley, so it cements the relationship. So, I mean, if you turned around to Sarah and said, Sarah, I'm targeting health professionals for next quarter. Is there anyone in your contact list you might be an introduction? She's going to really want to help you. You've saved her to go to 16 grand, done some introduction. So she'd be really keen to kind of support you in that as well.
Exactly. And that's who she is as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I like as well, is you get to know, like I've got to know Sarah pretty well from working together a little bit. And when you find out that people, that's who they are, then you want to support them even more.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think that's a critical factor as well, is like you were saying before, give first. Don't try and go, okay, what can I want to sell you my stuff.
Yeah. It's a genuine, authentic way to fast track trust is by taking control, acting first, and making those introductions or trying to support someone on another level with their business. So it's such a key part, I think, with networking. But even with all your other sales strategies, if you kind of embed that kind of philosophy into your other activities in sales, okay, we're in, like, I suppose as salespeople, you're in the helping game. You're trying to cure some pain for someone. So if you can kind of help them in other ways, whether it's an existing client even, I mean, it really just raises the trust level, makes the connection and the bond even stronger. So but I always come back to that word control. Like, don't wait for stuff to happen in a networking room. Take action and act first.
I like your use of that word control, because it can have a negative connotation.
100%, yeah.
But that's a very positive connotation as to you're here because you want to give, and that reciprocates all the way through as well.
Yeah, like it's amazing. Like, without exaggerating, I would say 2 weeks wouldn't go by where I'll get some type of introduction from either someone in industry or even people I've met outside of D32. Say, hey Dean, I'd like to introduce you to John or whoever the case may be, and that comes back to kind of giving first. I suppose I'm doing it now. An unfortunate number for me, 33 years, and I've got so much good stuff back from people where I've acted first, because people do remember. For the most part, I'd say 99% of people remember, Jesus, that guy done me a turn or made an introduction or whatever the case may be. So you get it back, but I'm not even exaggerating. Say 2 weeks might even be an exaggeration, but every 2 weeks I'll get email or call. Like, say, got your details from Kingsley, be keen to catch up or whatever. So people do remember, but it's in a positive way. It's about take control, because if you wait for stuff to happen in a networking environment, you're living in hope. And what that hope looks like is, if I'm an accountant, someone within the group, someone has said to them, oh, I really need an accountant. They go, I know a guy, have a chat with Dean. So that's living in hope. And if you're living in hope, it's hit and miss, where if you're kind of launching in, taking control and making stuff happen, and that doesn't just apply to networking, all your sales activity, but it's such a key part of the networking stuff. Yeah,
no, I love that. Yeah. I love that. I haven't heard that one before.
Oh,
another Dean first.
Oh, cheers for that.
Which is great. Awesome. Thanks, Dean. That was really, really good. Yeah. I think there's a lot of great nuggets here that people can take and just apply straight away.
Brilliant stuff.
Don't need to wait.
Thanks, awesome. Casey. Appreciate it. Thank you.